A very good morning to all the students of class 11. And students, as you know, we were doing the second chapter of your new revised syllabus, and the name of the chapter is Election and Representation. So we had already started this chapter and we had completed two parts. Today we are going to do the third part, and in this third part we are going to talk about a topic that is proportional representation. So I shall be explaining you the new system of elections which is also followed in India as a new version of it as proportional representation. But let's take a short glimpse of the topics which we had covered in the topic elections and representation. So in the very first part we had seen some introduction part to this chapter in which we had discussed regarding a close relationship between democracy and election, that how they are so closely connected and interdependent on each other. So with the help of the examples, I had explained you the connectivity between these two political phenomena. And in the last video we had covered a very important topic from the point of view of the exams also. And when we are talking about the election system of India, first past the post system. This system I had explained you in the last video with the help of many examples. There were a few calculations also. With the elections of 1985, we have seen that how Congress managed to get the majority of the seats, around 80% of the seats in the Lok Sabha general elections. So how they have managed to do that, we saw that with the help of the system, which is a very simple system, lucid system, but this is followed in the general elections of Lok Sabha as well as state legislative assembly elections. So we have seen this. But today in this video we will be covering the another system, that is proportional representation. In its original form we have not adopted or established this election system in India, but we have adopted a modified version of proportional representation system in India, which we use for the election of president or for the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so today we shall be discussing this with the help of the examples. So, before understanding the proportional representation election system, what do we understand by proportional election representation? Let's understand the meaning of proportion. What do we understand exactly by the proportion? For that, I will take a simple example, as you must be doing it regularly. Suppose this is a piece of chocolate you have, okay? Not a piece, you have a complete chocolate here, which is having at least 15 pieces. And you are 3 friends and you have to distribute this chocolate amongst yourself. So to the first friend, maybe you will give him these 4 pieces or the 5 pieces. Then you will share these 2 pieces to the other friend, and maybe this entire part you will keep it for yourself. It means this entire chocolate was distributed into 3 proportions. I am not talking about the equal proportion. Proportions here means of the right size, of the right amount, or degree compared with something else. Or proportion is used where we can compare the things with each other. So when we talk about the proportional representation, on the basis of the votes, because in the election we are not going to distribute the chocolates, of course. Okay, so what we are going to distribute and what we are going to compare? We are going to compare the proportion of votes a particular party gets, and on the basis of that proportion, a particular party gets the same amount of seats in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If I am talking about India, but it is also followed in the other countries around the world. But the one thing which you have to remember, the amount or the proportion of votes which a party will get, same amount of seats that party will get in their parliament or in their government. So you have to remember, proportion always means something of the right size. Right, we have distributed this chocolate amongst 3 friends. One got these 4 pieces, other friend just got 2 pieces, and the rest was kept by the boy who had this chocolate, who had purchased this chocolate. So it had 3 proportions, and 3 proportions, it means it is not only that it should be equal, it should be of right size, right amount, and it shows the degree of comparison between something else. It means we can compare them. So in the same way, when we talk about the elections, suppose this is the total votes. It is total votes. Okay, this is total number of votes of a country, and if you distribute between, this is party A, this is party B, this is party C, and this is party D. You can go the specific names also. I don't want to go with the specific names. That is, I have taken A, B, C, D, for example, as parties, political parties of any country. And after the election, you will find the result. A party got 30% votes of the total votes. C party got 20% votes of the total vote. B party got 40% of the total vote, and this got 10%. This concludes total 100%. So now after these all 100% votes, in the same proportion as they have achieved these votes, in the same proportion these parties will be getting the seats in the parliament or in the government. It means they all will be forming the government. In the government, suppose there are 543 seats, then out of 543, 20% seats will be given to C party, 30% seats will be given to A party, 10% seats will be given to D party, and 40% seats will be given to B party. But this will happen only when we are studying about proportional representation system of elections, or counting of the votes, or showing our preferences. But what we had studied in the last video, I also want to take a short revision here. If this would have been the first past the post system, if this would have been the first past the post system which we use in our general elections of Lok Sabha or state assembly elections, in this case easily you can see this is a party. Party B is getting the maximum votes, that is 40% of the vote, and in the first part of the post system we know the candidate who achieves or who gets the highest number of votes, then as compared to the other candidates, is elected as a candidate for the government. They get from the government. So in this case, this 10% vote, this 30% vote, and these 20% votes go waste. Only these 40% votes are being included and concluded to form the government. But this is not the case when we talk about the proportional representation system, election system. In this, everyone gets the same amount of seats in proportion to the same amount of votes which they have achieved in the particular election. Okay, so now I will take a reading from the book and I will try to explain you, but this is a structure which you have to understand. And here, when we will study this proportional representation, we will see two variants. There are two types of proportional representations which are followed by different countries around the world. We will see what is the difference. Although the procedure will be same, but there is a slight difference between those two variants. At the end of the lecture, we will also talk about the modern or the new modernized variant which has been adopted by India of proportional representation for the election of or for electing our president or Lok Sabha elections. So I have already explained you that proportional representation system, in this the party gets the same proportion of seats according to the proportion of votes. Same amount of proportion of seats and same amount of votes you are required here. But the important thing which you have to remember, we have understood what you understand of proportional representation, but there are two variants around the world which are followed by the various countries around the world. That is why I am saying two variants means two types or two procedures are followed under the same category of election system, proportional representation. The first system is followed in Israel and Netherlands. The first part is used in Israel and Netherlands. When there is election in Israel and Netherlands, they follow this variant of proportional representation, in which the important thing is that the entire country is treated as one constituency. If this is the total votes of a country, the entire country is treated as a single constituency. This all will be a single constituency. Okay. But in case of India, if we were having elections in India and we were following the election system, that is first past the post system, we divide India. Suppose this is the geographical location of India total. Here what we do, we distribute India into various constituencies, and there are around 543 total constituency, and from each constituency we elect one member. But this is case with India, where we use first past the post system for the elections of Lok Sabha and state assemblies. But here we are talking about the proportional representation which is followed in Israel and Netherlands, and they follow where they compare their country or their entire country is treated as one constituency. It means elections are held for the whole country all together, and the whole country is considered as one constituency, and the people here vote for the nation or for the party, not for the individual. In India we vote for the individual, although that individual is representing some political party, but still we vote for the individuals also. But here this is not the case. I will explain this in detail, but here you just need to know there are two variants. One is This single which is followed in Israel and Netherlands, where the whole country is treated as one constituency. And the other one which is followed in Argentina and Portugal. You must have heard the name of these two countries, popular countries. So another one, here the whole country is divided into several multi-member constituencies. In this what will happen, same like India, they will be also distributed into the constituencies. Suppose this is Argentina, the total votes of Argentina of the country, and they are being distributed to 4 constituencies. But these constituencies will have multi-members. It means from this constituency, it will be said that 3 members will be elected, from this 10 members, from this 5 members, from this 4 members. But in India what happens? We elect only 1 member from a single constituency. That is why we have 543 constituencies and 543 elected members of Lok Sabha. But in the case of Argentina and Portugal, they have multi-member constituency. It means from a single constituency, there can be multi-member who can be elected representing the different political parties. Okay, so these are the 2 variants. Now I will be taking the reading from the NCERT book, where we will see the differentiated 2 variants. What is the exact difference? As in the exam, if there will be a question, you will have to write few more points. Although I am trying to differentiate side by side between the systems, but you have need to focus on these 2 right now. Okay, so I will take the content from the NCERT book now. So now this is the NCERT content, and you can see proportional representation, which I have explained you on the board. Now let's see the exact statements which you will be required to write the answers. So let us compare this to how elections take place in Israel. So it means the topic before this we had studied in detail was first past the post system. So now they are saying that let's compare the new election system which takes place in Israel, that follows a very different system of election. In Israel, once the votes are counted, each party is allotted the share of seats in the parliament in proportion to the share of votes. As I told you, each party gets the same share of seats in the parliament as the share of votes which they have achieved in the election or the general election. Each party fills its quota of seats by picking those many of its nominees from a preferred list that has been declared before the election. So before the election only, each party has to declare the list of nominees which will be elected once their party is gets some proportion of votes in a particular constituency. Suppose this is the total election votes and this is a constituency, and I will in beforehand for this whole constituency I will give 10 names, for example. So these 10 members will be elected after the election. Suppose this constituency got the 40% of the votes of the total votes. It means the 40% people will be the member of this constituency. So each party fills its quota of seats by picking those many of the nominees from the preference list that has been declared before the elections. This system of election is called the proportional representation, PR system. In this system, a party gets the same proportion. This thing you have to remember. In this system of proportional representation, every party gets the same proportion of seats as its proportion of votes. So the proportion or the percentage of votes which you will get in the election, the same percentage of seats you will get in the parliament of the total seats. If you have, your party has got 40% of the total votes in the election, it means your party will get the 40% of total seats in the parliament. In the PR system, there should be 2 variants. In the PR system, there could be 2 variants. In some countries like Israel and Netherlands, as I have told you, there are 2 variants. One is followed in Israel and other is followed in Netherlands. The entire country. So what happens here? Let's see. The entire country is treated as one constituency, as said. And seats are allocated to each party according to the share of votes in the national election. It means there are the national elections, the elections which are held for the whole country at the same time, and the party gets the same share of seats as the share of votes they achieve in the election. But the important thing, the difference you have to remember, the whole country is treated as a single one constituency. Like in India, we have 543 constituencies, and from each constituency we elect 1 member. But in case of Israel and Netherlands, under proportional representation, this country is treated as a single constituency. The other method is when the country is divided into several multi-member constituencies. And the other method or the other variant which I told you, which is followed in Argentina and Portugal, it is multi-member constituency. As in Argentina and Portugal. What happens in this system? Let's see. Here each party prepares a list of candidates for its constituency. Beforehand, Each party will prepare a list of candidates for their particular constituency before the election, depending on how many have to be elected from that constituency. In both these variations, voters exercise their preferences for a party. If you see in both the variants, the voters vote for the party, not for the individual. Like in India, we vote for the individual also. Although we know that that individual is representing a particular political party like BJP or Congress, but still we know the name of an individual before the elections take place. And we exactly know to whom we are voting. But here the people of the or the citizens of these countries, they vote for the party on the name of the party and not a candidate. But a list is declared beforehand that when a party gets the majority or the percentage of vote, same percentage of candidates will take place in the government, or they will hold the seats in the same percentage. The seats in a constituency are distributed on the basis of votes polled by a party. Thus, representatives form of constituency vote and we belong to different parties. In India, we have adopted PR system. Now, after explaining these two variants, they are saying we have also adopted PR system in India. So, India, we are also having this PR system. Let's read that. But when we talk about India adopting of this PR system, we have adopted this in a limited scale, or we can say for indirect elections. Indirect elections means these are the elections which are done by the representatives who are being elected by us, like the members of legislative assemblies or members of Lok Sabha, MPs. Those are the people who elect on behalf of us. That is called indirect elections. And so our constitution prescribes the third and the complex variation. Two variants we have seen. One is followed in Israel and Netherlands, other is followed in Portugal and Argentina, and the third variant is very complex in nature, and it is a modified version, I would say, which India has prescribed in the constitution. And we use this for the election of president, vice president, and for the election of Rajya Sabha. You have to remember, and Vidhan Parishads. So these are the four things: election of president, vice president, for the election of Rajya Sabha, and Vidhan Parishad. These are the places where in India we use the modern, more complex variation of PR system. Because in the legislative assemblies or in the Lok Sabha general elections, we are using the first past the post system, which is a simple system. Although some process has to be understood by you to know the exact meaning and purpose of first past the post system. But if you are talking about the PR system, this is also valid in India, but this is a modified complex variation of PR system which is which has been adopted by the constitution in India. This is a direct question you can see here. Comparison of FPTP and PR system, first past the post system and the proportional representation system. So there is a difference or the comparison in exam. It can come differentiate between FPTP system and PR system. So in this, the country is divided into small geographical units called constituencies or districts. In India we have divided our India into various constituencies, around 543, which are the geographical units. But when we talk about PR system, here the large geographical areas are demarcated as constituencies, very large geographical areas. In one case we saw that the entire country was considered as a constituency, and the other we saw there were few constituencies, but those were multi-member constituencies. The entire country may be a single constituency. This is a case here. If you see the second comparison, every constituency elects one representative. As we know in India, from every constituency we elect one member. Although there can be a competition where there are 5 parties and there were individual contestants also, but we have to elect only one. Whoever achieves the maximum votes in that constituency, he will be elected. But in this, more than one representatives may be elected from one constituency. Voters vote for the party, because here voters vote for the party, and the proportion of votes a party gets, the same percentage or the proportion of votes a party gets in the government. Voters vote for a candidate, but here votes for the party. One is the difference here. We vote for the candidate here, but under PR system we vote for the party. A party may get more seats than the votes in the legislature. This we saw in the case when we were studying about the elections in India of 1984 after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, where Congress got just 48% of the total votes in India, but they achieved around 80% of total seats in Lok Sabha. So how is it
possible. So this is only possible because we follow a very special method in India, that is FPTP system. But here every party gets a seat in the legislature in proportion to the percentage of votes. Here there is no party whose votes go waste. If you are getting 20% of total votes, you will get 20% of seats. If you are getting 40% of the total votes in the election, you will get 40% seats in the government. So every party gets some proportion of seats in the government, but it is directly related to the percentage of proportion of votes you have got in the election. And the last division here is candidates who win the election may not get majority 50% plus 1 votes. It means here it is not necessary for a candidate that he has to get 50% or plus 50% votes to be elected. Even if he is getting 25% of votes, but other candidates are getting less than 25, he will be elected with only 25% of vote. It is not necessary that out of 100% he has to get 50% of the votes. That is, he does not have to achieve the majority. Majority means 50 plus 1. So in if I am giving an exam and the passing marks are 50 plus 1, that is 51. So I will have to achieve 51, but in this case they are saying the student which is getting the highest marks out of the other students will be elected or will be considered as pass. Even a student is getting 25 marks but he is getting the highest mark, he is considered as pass. This is the situation somewhat. Candidates who win the election gets majority of votes. Here candidates who wins the election gets majority of votes. Examples, this is UK, in Britain and India. Here Israel, Netherlands, Portugal, Argentina. So this is a very important question and you should write this comparison in the notebook also.